What is going on, everybody? Kinsey Entertainment here, and today we are going to be going over my personal favorite top 5 games of 2018. These are the games that I personally felt were the best of this year. I did the same thing last year for 2017, my top 5 favorite games. I'll have a link to that in the description if you guys want to check that out, but basically I figured I'd just do this because I did it last year, so let's go ahead and get into this. I'm going to start from number 5. I'm going to go down to number 1. There were tons of good games this year, and especially in the second half of the year in the fall, and some games that actually that disappointed me that I'll go over as well. So, starting off, number 5 of my favorite games of 2018, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I loved Assassin's Creed Origins, and I actually loved Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. It'd probably be much higher on my list than any different year. But this was once again another massive and gorgeous Assassin's Creed game that takes us to Greece, and I actually really enjoyed this game. I thought the campaign was amazing. I think that it kind of got a bad reputation because it's not really an Assassin's Creed game. It just has it in the title, and it didn't bother me much, though. I mean, it's a great game about Sparta and Spartans, so I actually found it very cool, and I didn't bother me one bit, and played all the way through as Alexios. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, and I'm planning on playing it through again as Cassandra, so great game. Number 5 doesn't quite crack my top 4, and you'll see why. You can probably guess the top 3. But number 5 here, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. No Assassin's Creed game next year, so you won't be seeing another one on the list, I guess, until 2020. But I always usually enjoy these games, so they're almost always going to crack my list. Great game from Ubisoft there, and a pretty underrated one at that. It got caught in the mix of a lot of good games, and I don't think it did as well as they planned because of that, but I could be wrong. Going on here, number 4, one of probably the most underrated game of the year in my opinion, Detroit Become Human. This game, now they're not for everyone, obviously. The whole, you choose your story type game. You decide your actions change the outcome of the game. Those games aren't really for everyone. They're kind of like the Telltale Walking Dead games. But I think if people really gave them a chance, they would get into them. And I've already played through this game 3 times. I loved this game. Just because of the limitations you have in it, though, I didn't really feel it should be higher on the list. But just amazing storyline, and I've went through, got 3 different endings, so I just love games where you can control your actions, decide how the game goes. And the first time I actually went through, I got an awful ending, but we won't talk about that. It's actually in my walkthrough. But yeah, number 4, Detroit Become Human. Definitely try this game out. You can probably pick it up for really cheap now, but it's definitely a game you should try out if you enjoy kind of those types of games where you choose your way, your own way. But yeah, very cool game. It deserved better, but it was, like I said, an amazing year for games, especially getting into these last 3 here. Going on here, number 3, which this game honestly could have been game of the year and like any other year after this. Marvel's Spider-Man. I absolutely love this game, and no complaints about it really at all. Honestly, it just fell number 3 on my list because I enjoyed the other two a little bit more. But it's extremely tight down to the line here. Marvel Spider-Man, I've been looking forward to this game for a long time now, and pre-ordered it as soon as I could, and managed to get it here. And I haven't actually played the DLCs yet, which I'm kind of disappointed in myself. But I didn't play the DLCs yet. If you follow my channel, you know that I haven't, because I would have uploaded them. But I do plan on going through and playing those DLCs, and I love this game. And Spider-Man has always been my favorite superhero, so obviously this is a big game for me. And I hope they make a second one. I know they actually will. Definitely will make a second one of this, so really looking forward to that, hopefully within a few years here. Going on, number 2 of my top 5 favorite games of 2018. It was a tough choice to pick between these two for which is number 1. This actually won Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year, and it's honestly, it's a masterpiece, and the only reason I didn't pick it over, well, I guess I can go ahead and say number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2, is because I just felt that Red Dead Redemption 2, I've been looking forward to that game for a very long time since the original came out, and I felt that just because of that reason, I enjoyed it more, and just because I felt there was more to do. But God of War was an absolute masterpiece, and really nothing would change that. I mean, I love this game so much. I even actually bought the PS4 Pro, God of War PS4 Pro. So that shows you guys how much I actually like this game. Of course, if there was a Red Dead Redemption 2 PS4 Pro, I would have bought that too. But yeah, number 2 for God of War. Once again, just a masterpiece of a game. But I kind of had a little bit more insight on the Red Dead Redemption 2 series because I haven't actually played a God of War game until this year. Because I recently got my PS4, but the last when I got it, they didn't have God of War, any recent God of War games, so I just didn't play them. So God of War is definitely a lock at number 2 and debatable for number 1 for me. Just a great game, and I've never actually jumped into a series before like God of War after a series that's already been going on for a while, and just fell in love with the game right away. And that's how incredible this game is, and I definitely will be going back and playing the other, I think there's 3. I think this is God of War 4. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just incredible, incredible game and storyline. And story mode games are not dying. Moving on, obviously. Number 1, Red Dead Redemption 2. Personally, I feel Arthur Morgan is like one of the best protagonists we've ever had in a game. And this, for me, this was a tough but also kind of easy choice. I loved Red Dead Redemption 1, and ever since then I've been hoping that they would make a second one, and finally they have and come through, and it did not disappoint. Yes, this game has tons of bugs, but it didn't affect me at all. I love this game. Very sad game, and just like Red Dead Redemption 1 is, really, but it's just so cool. It's a prequel, and you get to, you know, spoiler, epilogue with John Marston, and that to me was just awesome. I know some people had complaints about that, but for me, that was personally, I really enjoyed that, and like building the Beecher's Hope and all that. So this is number 1 for me, my personal game of the year of 2018. But honestly, like I said, these last 3, God of War and Spider-Man, they easily could have been Game of the Year in like really any other year. Just it's kind of a shame that they were all released in the same year, because I don't think Spider-Man won any awards, and God of War and Red Dead 2 kind of ran away with it, so they deserved it though. Just overall a great year for games. 2019 will be kind of interesting. I'm not sure really what games I'm looking forward to. Maybe Days Gone, The Division 2, but yeah, I'm not really sure, but some games that disappointed me now. And I know I'm not including this in the title, but some games that kind of disappointed me, I would personally say Battlefield 5's campaign. I actually enjoy the multiplayer for what it is, but the campaign, I just was not into it. Black Ops 4, I didn't even get because it had no campaign, and that's just, I'm not a Black Ops fan. So it disappointed me that they didn't have a campaign with it. Otherwise, I would have gotten that and played it on my channel. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is an interesting one that I was really disappointed to. Honestly, I felt the storyline was awful, and gameplay was fun, but the storyline, if it's not good, I'm not going to like it. And that leads me to Far Cry 5, which was one of the biggest disappointments of 2018 for me personally. Just awful ending to a pretty solid game. So yeah, guys, that concludes my list of the 2018, my personal top 5 games of the year. So guys, that's going to do it for me today in this video. Once again, this was my top 5 favorite games of 2018. Personal favorite, Red Dead Redemption 2 game of the year. That was a very loud thunder. But anyways, I will continue. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I will catch you guys in the next video, probably in 2019. So see you then.